Hello, everybody. Welcome to our press conference this week. The guys are going to be heading over to Jackson, Mississippi, a very long trip to take on Belhaven. It'll be our longest road trip of the year. Kickoff is Saturday at 1 p.m. in Jackson, Mississippi. Joining us for the press conference today, we have junior kicker Jared Mendoza. In case you didn't know, Jared has made 8 field goals this year, and the school record's 9. Not to put any pressure on or anything like that, but Jared's obviously made his mark in history already and hopes to continue to keep going. And on the other side of Coach Jordan Neal, we have Chris Baker, defensive back, and technically, I guess, a redshirt sophomore. So, C. Bake is with us today, and then we'll start with Coach, and we'll have questions after.
All right, happy to be here. Coming off of a disappointing loss last week against Sul Ross. I hate the fact that we didn't play to our capability. I know our guys really felt that, and it was disappointing for us all because we felt like we had opportunities to win, and we were more than capable of getting that done. Just didn't do it, and so that was it was upsetting. But I've been very proud, by our effort this week. It's been a little bit colder, and a front has moved in, and so you wonder how your guys are going to respond to that. But I feel like we've had a couple of our best days of practice that we've had all year. We've been physical, been flying around, and I'm looking forward to this opportunity. It's going to be a long trip. Belhaven is extremely well coached, and as a program that's been on the rise for the last year and a half, 2 years or so, and we know that we'll have our work cut out for us. But it should be a good challenge, should be a good matchup for us, and very, very anxious to get to Jackson.
Is there a sense of disappointment that maybe you felt like you turned a corner in the last couple weeks that hasn't been there, or is that also part of the growing pains of the process you guys are in the middle of?
Yeah, I think the answer is yes to both of those. I mean, it's definitely disappointing. We really felt like we have had the better football team in the last 2 weeks. And we don't mean any disrespect to our opponents, because I have the utmost respect for Texas Lutheran, and I also really respect Sul Ross. Coach Pierce, their head coach, has been there. I think this is maybe his 5th year there now, and he's the most consistent head coach that they've had there for a long time. And you see the fruit of that starting to play out. I mean, they are a good team. They came into the game at 1-6. But they beat Texas Lutheran, which is a team that is very capable. And you see a lot of teams in our league stacking up kind of in the middle, and I think that's just an indicator that every game is tough. Every week is a challenge. And but we feel like we've gone from, I've said this many times, I feel like we've gone from being a team that was not competitive at all, and was just trying to find our way, just trying to get through, and get to recruiting and get to off-season, which we didn't have a chance to have, and up to this point, or a real off-season. We went from that to being, if the ball bounces our way more times than it's likely to, and if we really play like we are capable of playing all the time, which is not a given, we could have won every ball game that we've played this year. But those are woulda, shouldas, and couldas, and we've had to learn those lessons the hard way, that the team that wants it the most that day is typically the one that's going to come out on top. And I feel like for whatever reason, and I'm no psychologist, but for whatever reason, they just wanted it more than us, and they did what it was necessary to win. So disappointing, yes, but definitely feeling like we've turned a corner. And I do think our team played better when we have a mindset of being the underdog. When we're favored to win, we've been favored to win in 3 games: the Austin College game, the Southwestern game, and the Sul Ross game. We won 2 of those, but we didn't feel like we played to our very best of our ability in those games, and there was some immaturity that showed there. And then obviously we let this one get away, we feel like. But when we've had to be the underdog in these other ball games, we feel like we've been able to roll out there against some darn good teams that are in the upper league part of our league, and have had opportunities to win. So long answer, I know, but we're trying to emphasize and focus on the positives, and but call a spade and shoot straight and talk about the ways that we need to get better. And I think that our guys are answering that call.
And then do you kind of look at Belhaven and say, that's us in a year, that's us in 2 years, what they've been able to do, where they were kind of, still stuck at the bottom a little bit, maybe being a little more competitive, but then kind of the wins have come in bunches for them this year, and they're coming off of playing a really, really good game against Mary Hardin Baylor.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. Nothing's inevitable. Just because they've progressed along that way, it doesn't mean that us or anybody else will do the same thing. There's too many factors. Excuse me. There's too many factors that are at play there. But the one thing you do see from these guys, and I think it is a model for us, is they really believe in what they do. On offense, they believe in running the football. They run it 3/4 of the time, and they're going to the quarterback's going to run the ball, and they're going to hand it off to those two backs. They're going to have some simple schemes in the pass game, and that's just what they do. And that's what they've done from the beginning, and they've started to realize that, hey, let's keep pounding the rock, and we're going to see some dividends there. They're a 3-3 stack team on defense. They play man coverage, and they focus on trying to stop the run. And then they play sound in the kicking game, and that's what they've always done. I feel like that's got to be us, and we've really tried to hang our hat on our ideals as a program and keep the main things, and just believing in, letting those things open up and play out in due course. So that's, we definitely look across there and see a team that resembles what we want to resemble a year from now, after we've been through an off season, after we've had time to continue to grow.
Chris, you got 2 games to go, a long trip to Belhaven, and then probably a tough game with Mary Hardin Baylor. The defense has really improved this year. What things have happened to make us play so much better and stopping the run and the pass, because we've been really close in these ball games. Just a couple of things could have made a difference. What's the defense done to improve as much as they have?
Since I've been here, I think our defense matured a lot more. We've been getting better mentally and physically. We take everything serious as far as coaches. We believe in our coaches. Coaches believe in us. That's the main factor. And we're starting to do it more and more. And that's what we're showing. That's how we're getting better, slowly and steadily. We recruit good people. We have trust in good people. So that's all we need. That's all we've been doing. And from here, we're not scared of anybody. Anybody can bring it. We respect our opponents with no disrespect by any means. But we're not scared of nobody. We never back down. Underdog, top dog, no matter what. We play to our best capabilities.
Not backing down. Those are good words. Not scared of anybody. And I guess we're looking forward to these final 2 games. And as you said, recruiting is very important. So if we can keep this unit together, I see very good things happening these last 2 games and in the coming years.
And just going off that, how fun is it to kind of see the growth and to be a part of that growth and to kind of say, man, this is where we were a couple of years ago, and now you're watching film of where you guys are now. Just how fun and rewarding is it to see that process?
Looking back at the old film, my 2019 year, freshman year, being a starter about half the season, if not more, just seeing the growth of myself along with my other teammates, like for example, Keyshawn, Jared, just everybody just completing tackles that we used to be able to miss and breaking up passes that we used to give up. It's just great seeing everybody just adapt and get better. And then even with people bringing in, seeing them, they're not like typical freshmen. They adapt fast, they learn, they take coaching, and just coaching very good. They take the coaching like I just said, and if they get chewed out, they take it. They're not hurt about it. They take coaching from us too. I'll give tips, and they'll actually seeing the young guys adapt and just actually do the things I like teach them to. It's actually heartwarming in a sense, but you just feel like an older brother in a way, and we all brothers. So God love to see it, and it's only getting better from here.
It's fun for coaches too. I mean, like when you just turn on the film, and Chris is exactly right. We used to bounce off of some of those tackles that we're able to make now, just from having some more knockback power and just being older and taking better angles, learning how to play more team defense. Where you got an assignment, and maybe on this given assignment, it's not your job to make the tackle. It's your job to turn the ball one way or the other so that the guy next to you can make that play. I mean, those are, it's a lot more fun to watch the tape when you see that, and instead of people that are getting outside of the scope of what they're being coached to do. And it's heartwarming, exactly right. It is heartwarming for us to see guys like Baker who, he's been here for, this is 2.5 years now, but he's still got a couple more games this year and then 2 more years of eligibility. He's also a track guy. And he's got a lot of runway left to land on and can still grow, but it's awesome to see the leadership and to see the way those young freshmen respond to the older guys, bringing them along and being hard on them, and shooting them straight and saying, hey, I need you to do this or I need you to do that. That's exciting. We see lots of opportunities for leaders to continue to develop and to grow and for us to just collectively get better.
And then with that, I know you were pretty proud of your turnover streak of not having them, and I know those have kind of bit you the last couple of weeks. How important is it to clean those up so you don't turn the ball over? And then also knowing that that's going to happen sometimes and to find ways to be able to overcome those things.
Yeah, and I think Jared is handy here, and it's a good insertion point for him because, this is the type of game where they're going to try to limit our possessions. And so if we give the ball away, you don't ever want to do that. But if you know your possessions are going to be limited to begin with, then they're all the more precious. And so we have to focus on being, putting together productive drives. If we only get 8 in the game, our goal is to be 50%. Well, if we score a touchdown on every one of those, that's only 28 points. But we need to have some other drives where we're productive and we go down there and get in his range, which he's got a lot of range. We're going to have to knock in some field goals. It's going to be one of those kind of games. But going back to your point about the turnovers, it's just so vital. If you only get so many in a game, you can't. It's like baseball. You can't afford to drop a pop fly in foul territory and give a guy another strike. Because that's typically when they have a clutch hit. You give a guy another out, bad things can happen. It's the same way in offensive football.
And with that, Jared, what's the mindset that you go through on the sideline when, okay, offense gets the ball? Is it, at what point do you maybe start trying some, warm-up kicks? At what point do you kind of start mentally thinking, okay, 15 more yards, 10 more yards. Okay, now I'm in range. Now, how's that process go for you on the sideline?
So I'm interested in myself, and so is Coach Jordan.
Yeah, so really it's just about really always staying warm because anything can happen. You need a breakout play, you gain 30, 40 yards, anything can happen. You can get in range in just a second, so you always have to be just attentive to it and always got to have a sense of what's going on. And just be careful.
Well, Jared knows that we like to go for 2 and be aggressive sometimes, but either way, and if he's out there or not on an extra point, he's got to haul butt. And he's got to get back because he's our kickoff guy too, and he's been punting the ball as well. We rugby to the left sometimes, and he's really improved that aspect of his game as well. And we always have I'm very persnickety about our Friday, kick the field routine, and it's all about being ready and anticipating sudden changes. And kicking game's a big part of that. This guy's done a great job. He has grown so much. I'm very proud of. He deserves what's coming to him, and I know he's disappointed. We had one in the Southwestern game. He had 5 field goals in that game and 1 that hit off the upright, which he just, he makes that thing 99 times out of 100. Otherwise, he'd have had the conference record for field goals in a game. So, that week he had 17 points in the game, and it's just been a huge weapon for us. And none of that, not to exclude his kickoff game. We have not, knock on wood, given up. We've given up 1 kickoff past the 25-yard line. That we've kicked deep, and he has the ability to kick it out back in the end zone, and when we can touch back like that, they can't return it. So it's been awesome to see the growth.
And is that, when you kind of do everything, I know there's just a kicker, but when you can go out there and you can say, yeah, but look, points I put on the board, kickoffs, punts, when you can kind of say, yeah, but I do everything and it plays a big role, how fun is it to be really involved and not maybe just do one thing in the kicking aspect, but kind of really do it all?
Yeah, definitely. It's really fun because you got to go to kickoff meeting, you got to go to punting meeting, you got to go to everything else. You just got to sit there. It's somewhat tedious, but you start remembering these things, start grabbing on, and it all becomes just, I wouldn't say clockwork, but it starts to become just a little routine. It gets easier by the minute.
Coach Neal, special teams play is so important, as we found out. Has any extra attention or any special attention been played to address to special team play?
If there has been any special attention, it's just the difference between our limited practice time that we had in the spring, compared to the fact that we're more on a regular schedule, playing in the fall and having a Monday and a Thursday practice where we can really emphasize special teams. That's what we're used to doing. We had to kind of knock off of that in the spring because we were shortening our practices for COVID reasons. But I think you see our kicking game unit just as a whole really improve because we put the time in. I mean, we meet with special teams every day, and we work that into practice. A substantial amount of time. Coach Stark, he works with our punters and our snappers and holders and kickers and everybody. And man, they get out there whenever the offense and the defense is meeting. It's almost like a pitcher throwing a bullpen. They chart stuff. They've got a certain routine that they go through, and Coach always does a good job of letting me know on game day, say, hey, we're good from 45 and in, or we're good from 52 and in when we got the win, or whatever it may be. So we got a pretty good little process, and it's just kind of materialized that way because we've made it important.
Is special teams play as much a mental thing as much as physical?
Yeah, I think, and Jared just said it. It can be a little bit tedious. It's the unsung, underappreciated, but really important aspect of the game. And I look at the numbers, and I'm a numbers guy. Typically we get about 70 some odd plays on offense. We run and we play about 70 some odd plays on defense. So about 140 plays a game. There's typically about 30 to 35 that are kicking game plays. Of some form or fashion. That's a big chunk of plays in the game that are extra point, field goal block, kickoff return, kickoff, etc. And so it warrants the time that we put in, and we are able to get through the tedium of it because we understand we've really preached to our guys that this matters as much and if not more than offense or defense. And so it's just been a point of emphasis.
Jared, what's the longest you've ever made in warm-ups? And, what's the most comfortable you would be kicking in a game? Do you ever think it would translate?
We can verify this.
So the farthest I've ever attempted was 70. But the farthest I've ever made was, I think it was 68, I believe. That was about a week ago.
Was it 68?
No, it was 60.
It was 60.
It was
You were trying to get yourself scared.
You missed from 66.
I missed from 66.
Did you miss short or did you miss wide?
I can say it was like
Okay.
maybe like a yard.
So it would have been good from 63, 64.
Well, you've come out after halftime and really let some loose.
No, it's just always about keeping warm because you kind of lose some of that. Kind of lose some of your little mobility whenever you're going to halftime.
Yeah.
Just sitting down listening to coaches, having a little minute.
Is there any such thing as a hot ball or a special ball or any way that you can?
Well, in practice we actually have my friend Garrett. He's our punter, number 47, I believe. He has this little red ball with the red laces. We call it the Borger ball because he brought it from his high school. It has red laces, and we prize it because it's the best ball that we have. And so because us kickers, we go through the balls, we scratch up the balls because we kick them out, and it's nice to have.
Do you ever find there's any difference in the balls?
We haven't pumped any helium in there.
Okay, well.
Difference in between the balls, some of them a little more tattered up, some a little brand new, some need to be worn in a little bit, kicked in a little bit.
What were those numbers again, Jordan? You said how many plays in a game and how many on...
About 140 total offense plus defense, and then typically anywhere between 30 and 40 kicking game plays.
Thank you.
Chris, transitioning to the defensive side of things, you've kind of done it all since you've been here. 2019 and 2021, you've played safety, you played corner. Do you have a preference, or is it more just about helping the team and wherever you're needed?
It's about helping the team wherever I'm needed. I was recruited as a corner, as a safety. I'm sorry, but probably now my time has been a corner way more, and I've grown to like corner a lot. It's my first official time playing corner in 2019, and I actually like it. I feel like I fit there good. I've been doing pretty solid in my years playing here, and It's fun. You know, the tackle's kind of, it's less of a tackling rule at that corner, but because I like tackling, as you know, but I like being used where I'm needed. I'll be at D-line if they need me to.
And Coach, just building off of that,
Yeah.
just what's been like
The thing that, I mean, of course, I know we're sitting down right now, but I mean, he's 6'4". I mean, he's a big, tall young man. I mean, he's got that range. When he gets his hands on you and you know, he gets up into your personal space, it's tough. It's tough because he's so rangy. You know, he's an athlete. He's been battling a hip injury for the longest time. You know, he's really toughed it out, you know, and he didn't really get to cut loose like we wanted him to in the spring. So it was really almost like a redshirt year for him this past season, you know, between 2019, his freshman year, where he played a lot of snaps and made a substantial contribution to the team, to now where he's settling into that position and is more consistent. But, you know, you can just tell by both of these guys, you know, not just him, but, you know, their attitude is about team, it's about a program. And, you know, they're committed. Like you said, if we got to stick him out there at D-line, you know, he'd make a heck of a D-lineman somehow, some way. And that's just the attitude that he has, you know, and we appreciate that so much. And we know that, you know, good days are in store because we got guys like these two who are bought in 100%. They're all in behind what we're trying to do. And so, yeah, very proud of Chris, very proud of Jared too.
And also on the defensive side, Josh Smith, how many does he still need?
I'm not sure. I think he lacks like 9.
So he's got one for every day of the year. He's at 365, and he needs 14 more to tie the record.
14 in 2 games.
Yeah.
So seven per game.
Very possible.
Yeah, more than capable of doing that. And, you know, Josh has just stayed so consistent. You know, he's a leader. He's a team captain. You know, I don't know if anybody, when he gets that tackle record, he'll obviously have that. I don't know if anybody's played more snaps in football than he has, with the exception of maybe Dan Zarzoza. You know, so the fact that he's stayed so durable, you know, and you know, it's not like he hasn't had bumps and bruises along the way, but he's just tough as nails. You know, he always finds a way to stick his face in there and be around the ball. And he's grown a lot, matured as a young man. You know, and I'm very, very proud of Josh, and I'm looking forward to watching him play this week. It's going to be his style of game, you know, because they're big and physical, and they like to roughhouse, and that's what he does. He gets down in there, he's so dang strong, and he's going to be a reputable force on Saturday as well as next week too.
Just find a way.
That's right. That's our motto.
Yep.
Find a way.
Coach and Chris, if you want to just kind of give a little scouting report of Belhaven. I know back in 2019 we saw that quarterback they had, very mobile, very big, can run. Foley's back as well. Just tell us what you've seen, and then Chris, you can build off of.
Yeah, Mario, the quarterback, he's 6'5", maybe even 6'6". I mean, when he falls down, he makes 3 yards. You know. I just hope we can make him fall down the other direction, because then it'd be a tackle for loss. You know, but no, he's a good athlete. I mean, he really looks like he should be a power forward. You know, he just looks like a basketball player out there. You know, and you know, so he can see over those big offensive linemen. He's got a good arm. He throws a good ball. They don't like to use him as a passer as much as they like to use him as a runner. But he can hurt you both ways. The Foley kid is outstanding. He's as good a back in this league as you'll see. And then their other back, number 4, is just as good. And they're going to give the ball to those 3 guys. Everybody in the stadium knows it. We know it. You know, so it's really going to be a test of wills. Can we get up in there and contain those guys? I don't know if it's possible to just truly stop them and stonewall them, because they're too good. They're going to make plays. But there's no secret what they're going to try to do. So we got to try to contain them. And yeah, I think that's what I think. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, going off that, I think it's a very run heavy, like tough and physical team. As Coach already said, their quarterback and their 2 running backs are very good. That's their main threats. Their O-line is also very good. Probably about second best we're going to see. But like I said before, we're not going to back down from anybody. We've been game planning. I have faith in my teammates. I have faith in me. And we're not going to back down. And as far as receivers, we're not going to, at corner and in the back end, at safety, we're not going to, we can't fall asleep, because they're going to run, and then they're going to hit us with a pass, or try to. And I'll be ready for it. That's all I'm going to say.
Then, Coach, just how important are these games? You mentioned, you know, you guys maybe play a little better when you're underdogs and have that little bit of a chip on your shoulder. But, you know, Belhaven will probably be the best team you've played in a handful of weeks. Just how important is coming out strong, and, you know, it's on the road after a long trip. But to really, you know, show that maybe the last 2 weeks are not the norm, and to kind of take that next step.
Yeah, and in addition to it being a long road trip all the way out there to Mississippi like it is, it's their homecoming too, you know, so we, not that you play any different or that that's any added motivation per se, but we'd be lying if we said that we didn't want to go out there and kind of spoil their day, you know, and you know, encourage people not to schedule us for homecoming anymore, you know. But no, I do. I just think that we've got to have the resolve to truly believe what we say we believe, and to truly stick to the process of getting better. And I believe that the winning truly will come. I mean, the difference between, you know, being competitive and actually walking off the field with the ability to say, you know what, we had more points on that scoreboard today than they did. And I believe that that'll come. And I believe that we've taken lots and lots of steps to get there. You know, a lot of adversity that you know, some that people do know about and some that people have no idea about except for us internally. And, you know, this is a fun group of guys to coach. They enjoy playing the game. They love their coaches. They love their teammates. They love McMurry. And you've got to. You've got to love McMurray, you know, in order to stay and to be completely committed, especially after everything that's been going on for the last year and a half. And I couldn't be more proud of the fact that these guys are where they're at, with the ability to go out against a team like Belhaven, who we know is going to be good. I mean, they are excellent. Everything that Chris just said is exactly right. And then I'd say the same thing about their defense. Good defensive line, good linebackers, productive. You know, they're older than we are, and all those kind of things. But we're not scared. You know, I think we went from being a group of guys that were kind of wide-eyed, you know, maybe a little bit hesitant a year ago to, like, these guys think that they can play with anybody. And, you know, I'm just excited to go get in the foxhole with them.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Today's press conference is presented by First Financial Bank. Thank you.
Nice. Good job, guys. Love the hair, man.